All right, we're now ready for Oregon, Game 1 press conference featuring the Ducks. We're joined by head coach Mike White, Alexis Mack, Shannon Rhodes, Lauren Burke, Haley Cruz, and Miranda Ellish. Coach White, we'll start with you. How important was it for you, and how much of an impact did it have that every time they put up some runs, you guys answered immediately back?
Exactly right. We talked about the answer inning, and it's important to regain momentum, especially after either somebody scores or when we score, to try and shut that other team down. And I thought that happened after the first innings. We were able to get the momentum back, and then we shut them down for the next couple of 3 innings, of course, until they scored again. But if you'd told me there's going to be 17 runs scored off those 2 pitching staffs at the start of the game, I thought you were crazy. So it was definitely a dogfight. Congratulations to Arizona State. I mean, how far they've come in just 1 year is amazing under Coach Ford. And, Juarez is certainly a top-class pitcher. And I bet you they're like us. They don't want to face another Pac-12 team. But the good news is we're here, and the Pac-12 is well represented.
All right, questions for Coach and the student-athletes. And please identify yourself and who you are asking the question.
Ryan Thorburn with the Register Guard. Miranda, what was it like emotionally to get the start today and also to get so much run support?
It was awesome to get the start, and my offense had my back the whole entire time. I gave up a 2-run home run to start off the game, and they punched ASU right back and put up 2 runs. So definitely our offense really saved our pitching staff today.
Travis Tyke came to you back in Eugene. Miranda, the only runs you've given up in your last 2 starts are from the long ball. Other than that, you've been pretty spot on. Is it just a missed pitch here and there? What I guess kind of the cause of those mistakes?
They're not terrible pitches, but they're not good pitches, and they just capitalize on those little mistakes.
Keegan Renaud, OU Daily. Coach, you guys kind of took advantage of a lot of their costly errors that they had earlier in the game. We just talk about putting pressure on the teams, here in Oklahoma City at the Women's College World Series. Yeah,
Actually, that goes both ways. Every time an error is committed, it's 1/3 of an inning that you give the other team. And I think there was, 3 errors or something like that, maybe a couple of errors. So that gives us just more advantage. And like you said, we're able to capitalize on it. Top of the order right there, they were pretty good. We had 5 hits in the top 2 hitters. So that's what we got to do if we want to win. And then we got great production from Shannon Rhodes, and Gwen Savekis was able to come in with a couple of chinks here and there, but she's known for that. But and then, of course, Haley Cruz and Lauren Burke right through the order. So I was really pleased with the way we hit the ball.
Hi, Katie Barnes, ESPNW. I'm not entirely sure to whom to direct this question, but what happened this morning with the bus and the left jersey? Just wondering if you can answer that.
Jenna can answer that one.
Jenna's not here.
Oh, she's not here.
We just had flat tire situation with the bus, but you got to control what you can control. Things happen all the time. Just keep your head down, keep moving, keep warming up, keep proceeding through the day to the game.
We actually took Florida State's bus, so we want to know if we can borrow it for the rest of the week.
Marin Angus behind the plate. Lauren, your postseason so far, it's kind of just been unreal. And if you can talk about just what your year has been like, you're the hometown kid, you're playing in the World Series. Just can you summarize what all is going on right now?
This whole year has been a total roller coaster of ups and downs, and I think I'm peaking at the right time. I'm seeing the ball really well, and I get lucky in situations. I get runners on, and I just try and move them over, get a good pitch to hit, and that's pretty much what I'm trying to do right now.
Jonathan Style with KEZI. Shannon, this was your guys' 3rd time going against Juarez. How much did that really help, and how much did you look back at those first 2 games and sort of look back and prepare for today?
Great question. I think that our first 2 outings against Juarez, our first game was obviously better than our second, but going back and watching film and saying, we're not going to have her beat us again on the same pitches. She's got a sequence. I personally think very predictable, so we really just bought into what Coach White had us, bought into the plan, swinging above the ball where it's going to be instead of under it and trying to lift, just hit gap to gap, line drives. You just got to stick to a plan.
Haley, after they cut it to 6-5, what was kind of going through your mind that at bat with the home run?
You know, I knew what she was going to throw me. She got me out twice on the same pitch pretty much. I knew at some point she was going to come in, so I let the away stuff go. And I waited for her to come up and in, and I got the pitch I was looking for, so I was just trying to produce and make an adjustment and turn on that pitch.
Lauren, kind of go back to your performance. I don't know did you hear what Jenna Lilly said before your trip on your approach to the plate by any chance?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think about that?
I think it's funny. I think it's pretty accurate. When I'm in the box, I'm really not trying to think too much. And I know a lot of people are like, that's crazy, but really it helps my game. I have a tendency to overthink things, so when I'm in the box, just make it as simple as I can, get a good pitch to hit it hard, get barrel on the ball. I just limit it to that. I don't try and look for a certain pitch or this, just a strike that I can handle.
Justin McLeod, Justin's World of Softball, back here. Shannon and Alexis, and maybe some follow-up from Coach. What's clicking with your offense right now? And how does that, when your offense is going so well, how does that make you feel, when you're getting 11 runs against Kentucky and then today and that kind of thing?
I think our offense is clicking in a sense that we're just trying to pass the bat from hitter to hitter, 1 through 9. I don't really think there's a secret to it. We just everybody get on base, get them over, get them through to the plate. So.
Yeah, I would say one thing that definitely has helped as we've been on this stage before. We've been to the Super Regional. We've been on this big stage. So the nerves aren't really there. We're not trying to do too much. And like Shannon said, we're just trying to pass the bat. And it makes it really easy when runners on base, at least for me and other people, that the pressure is on the defense. And you're just trying to move them over and not trying to get too big or be the hero.
I think it's just been a pretty consistent approach by our offense. We've had our struggles this year for sure, and we've been shut out several times. But they've bounced back. They've learned from those mistakes. When we came out against Warriors the second time, she threw a great game against us and made the adjustments, and we didn't. And so I think what we keep telling them, I think they're starting to buy into the plan a little bit. We're also know that this game can humble you in a heartbeat. So just because you score 11 today doesn't mean you're going to score 11 tomorrow, and we know that. So we've got to keep the focus. And that's what it is. It's the focus and the intensity, and make sure the team we're playing has the toughest 21 outs to get that we can give them.
Mike, you guys have struggled sort of in this first game the past couple of times. How good does this one feel, and how much did you talk about maybe last year's experience and how difficult it was to sort of make your way through the losers bracket?
Well, we definitely feel a lot better having a win under our belt. There's no doubt about it, as opposed to being 0-1. But we know that it gets tougher. Each step gets tougher, and tomorrow we got to make sure we're rested and focused for whoever wins the Washington-Oklahoma game. Like I said, the game doesn't know tomorrow what happened today, and we got to come out and play, be the better team on the day.
Mike, what's the process and the timeline for you as far as choosing which pitcher to start in this game? And do you have a conversation with Megan as far as the why of that?
Yeah, I've already told the pitcher who I'm starting, but I'm not going to share that. But today's game. Oh, today's game? That was a tough decision. It was really a matchup. I thought whose pitching style matched up against ASU better, and that was the whole reason for it. I had the luxury of picking two pitchers that have an ERA right around or under 1, and that's pretty good, especially when we're scoring runs. So I felt pretty good about it. It was just a matter of, how long do I let Alish go before I don't want to wear her out, and also I don't want to wear out Megan because if we win today, we got to throw tomorrow. So we've got to be cognizant of that as when you make those changes. But tomorrow, we got to come out and we have to throw all 3 tomorrow. We'll throw all 3.
Coach, I know we've talked about your offense and how everybody's been producing, but I want to go back to Lauren and just ask you, what you've seen from her, and it's got to make you excited, right?
It's pretty exciting because when I had a 10U team, I had a 7-year-old sitting on the sidelines, and we didn't have enough players for a 10U team. So we said, "Hey, Crazy Legs Lauren, come and play for us," and she did. She came and played, and her sister played for us as well, Shauna. Lauren's kind of just grown up with the game, and it's been great to see her take this to another level. When she came into my office and wanted to be a Duck, that's what she wanted to be. I want to be a Duck. And so there was no hesitation about what she wanted to do. And so you've got to grab that when it happens. And, I think that she's just going to continue to get better from here.
Mike, how important was it to get Megan a couple innings? You know, it's been a week since she last pitched in that Super
Yeah.
Regional, just moving forward.
Well, everything happens for a reason. You know, I don't know what it is or why it is sometimes until you look back and reflect on it, what happens after that. But, you know, maybe that was a good thing, was to get Megan out there and give her a little bit of, time out on the mound and get a feel for it. Because it is, I know from my playing days, that first time out there sometimes is a little, feel touchy-feely, kind of was like you had to kind of be out there to do it. So maybe that is a good thing that both our pitchers, number ones, so 1 and 2, have got their feet wet. Maggie hasn't been out there yet, but hopefully it leads to good things going forward.
Coach, do you see potential matchup with Oklahoma tomorrow? You guys played them earlier in the season.
Yeah.
You didn't see Lowry. You roughed up Parker a little bit. Have you scouted Lowry? Anything stick out about her?
72 mile an hour. It's coming at you hard, and that's what it is. She's got a little bit of stuff, a little bit of this and that, but it's just hard, and it's hard to practice that. We don't have anybody who can throw 72 mile an hour left-handed, but the good thing is that we have seen some really good left-handers in our conference. You see Juarez a couple of times, and then we saw. In fact, it's set up the same way. It may be calmer here, but I know that when we played Oklahoma, we played Juarez that weekend. So when Paige Parker came to town, it was like we see Juarez again, So and now it sets up this way again today. We saw Juarez today, and hopefully, well, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Washington's got a good team too, but don't get me wrong. But if it happens to be Parker, then hopefully we've got a good look at her. But Paige Lowry, she could be tough to handle. The first couple 3 times through.
And Coach, can you just talk about the impact that Jimmy Kalidas has had on your team and leading your offense and coaching them?
Oh, well, Jimmy is a hard worker. He is, he's there before I am and leaves after I am. He's one of those unsung heroes that you don't see. Whenever somebody wants to go in and hit extra, he's there, no questions asked. And he's always trying to get better. He's always calling people, has great contacts. He's trying to reach out and find different ways to do things. And so I respect him for that. And he's going to be a great head coach one day.
Any more questions? All right. Coach, thank you very much. Congratulations.